Yo, what's going on, guys? Fnac, and I'm back with another schedule preview. So I've taken another couple days off of YouTube. So schedule previews is kind of coming to an end. I'm about to have my hands on Madden 20. It's going to be here pretty quickly. I think in the next couple days it should be here. So look out for a video coming this weekend on Madden 20. I'm really excited for that game. I've heard great stuff about it, and I've already seen some stuff on YouTube about the game. So stay tuned and subscribe for that. But I'm kind of reaching the end of schedule previews. The teams that I want to do left are UCF, Washington, and maybe one or two teams after that. I mean, nobody really cares about a team like Purdue or just another average team like Virginia. No disrespect to those teams, but nobody's really going to watch that. I want to do teams that people are actually interested in and would like to watch my schedule preview of those teams. That's been my goal this offseason, especially recently, is to do teams that teams care about. And you guys seem to care about those teams because my views have gone up a pretty decent amount for those teams than some of my lower tier teams whenever I just did the SEC teams. So we're doing UCF. So some UCF fans think that they are the best team in Florida. I'm not a part of that crowd. I think they're second best. I think Florida's a little bit better than them, just because, you know, Florida has way more advantages than UCF. UCF shouldn't be the best team in Florida, but it's great that they're in the competition for it. They've exceeded the program's expectations over the past couple years, and it looks like they have the talent to do it again, led by star quarterback Mackenzie Milton. He was injured a little bit of last year, and if he didn't get injured, maybe UCF wouldn't have lost to LSU in the Fiesta Bowl. Who knows? But that's in the past. Let's focus on the future, the UCF. So UCF starts off the year against another fellow Florida team in Florida A&M. I don't really think this is going to be much competition for UCF. I didn't even realize that Florida A&M existed before this. So this is basically just a tune-up game. And because the meat of UCF's schedule is really at the beginning, these next three games are going to be very, very difficult for them. So they're going to have to win these easy games like Florida A&M, and I think they will. So they move on the road to FAU. I think the second most likely game that they will lose this season is this game against FAU. So FAU is a very, very nice football team. Do I think they're on the level of UCF? Not quite. They're getting up there, though. In 1 or 2 years, they'll probably be on the level of UCF. But I do think the UCF is a little bit better than them right now, so I'm probably going to give them the win here. Not probably, I am going to give them the win here. I think this should be a close, exciting, high-scoring game filled with a lot of turnovers, touchdowns. It's going to be a fabulous game. I usually don't watch games where there's no Power 5 team involved, just two non-Power 5 teams. You won't see me watching a lot of those games, but I probably will watch this game. It should be a very, very entertaining football game. So in the most difficult game of the season, UCF is at home against Stanford. Stanford, I have very high hopes for Stanford this year. I think they are potential Pac-12 contenders and top 10 football contenders. And I'm going to give Stanford the win here. I think Stanford has more depth than UCF. They're going to find a way to shut down the offense of UCF. And I think Stanford's going to run away with it in the second half. It's not going to be a beatdown by any means. It's kind of going to be like the LSU game. A pretty close game, 1-2 possession win for Stanford. I just don't think UCF has quite enough talent to compete with Stanford. And I think Stanford's coaching staff's just a little bit better. So unfortunately for UCF, I'm going to give them their first loss of the season. So they are now on the road against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think they're going to respond well after their loss against Stanford. They know that if they want to keep their season alive, they have to win this game. And I think they are going to win this game. I don't think this will be much of a game for the first half. I think UCF will get off to a quick start. Maybe Pittsburgh could start coming back in the second half because their depth, but UCF, I think, has a far better offense than Pittsburgh, so they get the win. So it's basically either Florida Atlantic, Stanford, or Pittsburgh. I don't see them winning all three of those, and I don't see them losing all three of those. I say they'll either lose one or lose two of those games. I'm not sure exactly which ones. If I had to pick, I'd pick Stanford like I did in this prediction video. But I do think that they will lose one of those games. So they are back home against UConn. UConn, I'm trying to remember what they did. They did something this offseason. I'm trying to remember. I think they left their conference. So UConn's just completely bailed from football, which you can't blame them. They're a basketball school. They're investing it all in basketball. There's no reason that they should put much effort into football, and they're not. So UCF, I think, is pretty obvious that they're going to crush UConn here in this game. So this is another possible loss for UCF. I think this is going to be kind of like the FAU game, close, high-scoring football game. Last year, this game was actually on prime time. UCF, I'm pretty sure, beat Cincinnati by a pretty decent bit. I don't think it was much of a game. This year, I think it'll be a pretty much closer game because the UCF is on the road instead of being at home, and it won't be in prime time. UCF was really hyped up. That was their Super Bowl last season. So they brought their A game. I don't think that this is going to be as much of a convincing defeat for Cincinnati as it was last year. I think this is going to be more of a closer game. You know, 1-2 possession win for UCF. Again, it's kind of like the FAU and Cincinnati games are very similar. It's going to be a high-scoring football game, but I think UCF, for right now, is just a little bit better of a team than them. So they have a bye week, and they return against Eastern Carolina. Eastern Carolina is okay. There's an average team. They're nothing too special. UCF should take care of them pretty easily. I don't think East Carolina has the offense to compete with UCF's overpowered offense. UCF can compete with SEC teams. East Carolina can't. What more do I have to say? So they are on the road now against Temple. Temple actually put up quite a very good effort against them last season. And you would think UCF was home against them last season. They're on the road. That must mean that this game could be a loss for them. I don't think so. I think UCF is going to blow out Temple. They're going to come in this game looking for revenge, especially on the defensive side of the football. Not that they lost against Temple last season, but they were pretty much embarrassed on defense. I'm pretty sure they won 52-40, which is no way to win if you're trying to be a top 10 team and convince people that you're the best team in Florida. You just can't have that happening. And I think they're going to look for revenge, and I think they are going to get it. So they are now at home against Houston. Again, Houston's kind of similar to the Cincinnati and FAU game. I think this is going to be another high-scoring football game, and maybe 1 or 2 years Houston will be able to beat UCF. But for right now, I don't see them beating UCF. UCF has built such a big lead during the Scott Frost era over everybody else, and I think they're trying to hold on to it, and I think this year might be one of the final years that they are able to hold on. But nevertheless, I do think they are going to be the better team than Houston in this game. It's going to be another high-scoring football game. Maybe over 100 points will be scored in total. But no matter what, I think that UCF will find a way to get the win. So they are on the road against Tulsa. Tulsa isn't really much of anything right now. They're kind of rebuilding for the most part. I think UCF's going to be able to handle them. I really don't see Tulsa having a path or a way to defeat UCF. UCF's just the far superior team, and that's pretty obvious. So UCF gets the win. So they are on the road again against Tulane coming off of a bye week. It's kind of similar to the Tulsa game. I really don't see UCF losing against either Tulsa or Tulane. I don't really see a path for either of these teams to win. UCF's just far superior in every single way than both of these mediocre teams, so I think UCF gets another win. So they finish off the year at home against USF. Again, it's kind of similar to FAU and Cincinnati and Houston and those type of games. It's going to be another high-scoring football game, but again, right now, I think UCF is just the superior football team. But then again, in 1 or 2 years, teams like Cincinnati, Houston, USF, FAU will be able to beat teams like UCF, in my opinion. So I think this is the last year UCF's going to clearly be the better team than some of these teams. So I think they need to take advantage of it now, and I think they will. So I am going to give them the win narrowly over USF. USF and UCF have put together some pretty amazing games over the past couple years, and I think this year will be no different. I think there'll probably be over 100 points scored. Maybe we'll even go to overtime. It'll be a close football game, and it'll be an exciting football game. But in the end, I think UCF just has enough great players to figure out a way to win. So I have UCF going 11-1. I don't think that they're a top 10 team. I certainly don't think they're the best team in Florida. But I do think they're a top 20, maybe even top 15 team. I don't think they're going to make a New Year's Six bowl, but I think, they can make a bowl like an Outback Bowl. They finally are being given the tough schedule that UCF fans have been asking for, and mostly college football fans have been asking for, because UCF wants to prove that they're legit, and college football fans, besides of UCF, wants to prove that they're not. So this is going to be a really telling year for UCF. I think they're going to handle the tough schedule pretty well, going 11-1 again and going up against a couple pretty difficult teams isn't an easy thing to do by any means. But then again, I don't think that they're a top 10 team, and certainly not the best team in Florida. So I think pretty soon, teams like Cincinnati, Houston, USF, FAU are going to catch up with UCF and eventually overtake them. I think we're seeing the downfall of UCF football. I think Scott Frost was kind of a lightning in the bottle coach, and he put this program so far ahead of all the other programs that they face every year that they've been able to ride the coattails of Scott Frost, and I think we're seeing the downfall of UCF football and the rise of USF and FAU football. So I don't think, in Miami as well, and Florida State, if they can get back on track, if UCF doesn't get this thing back rolling in terms of recruiting, we could be looking at the 6th best team in Florida, which is a drastic drop-off because some people still believe that they're the best team in Florida. I'm not really buying into UCF. I think they're a pretty good team. I see them going from 12-0 to 7-5. So this team could either be really good and have a fantastic year, or be just average and have an insanely disappointing year. There's going to be a lot of close games for UCF. I have them winning most of those games. Maybe they lose a couple of more of those games, and maybe it's just an overall disappointing year for UCF. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how UCF handles a more difficult schedule. It should be fun to watch. So if you UCF fans enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And just everybody else that watched this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for a bunch of Madden content coming soon. My content right now is 100% college football. It's going to kind of shift to about 70% Madden, 30% college football. And then once the college football season and NFL season starts, it's going to switch to about 75% college football and NFL, and 25% Madden. But I am going to still have some college football content in the month of August, and I'm still going to have Madden content in the months beyond. But August is going to be heavy Madden 20. I'm really, really excited for this game, and I cannot wait for me to get my hands on it. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure to subscribe for all the content coming up, not just Madden, but once the late August, early September hits, you're going to be seeing a lot of football content, especially college football, coming your way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an amazing day, and peace.